You look around and it's a nice little birdhouse up in a tree there, and you helped make it. Well, actually you didn't help make it, you helped purchase it from like Costco, but it doesn't matter, it's still yours. Then you look around all the plants, there's hollyhocks and magnolias and buttercups and lavender, but then you question why there's lavender, because you hate the smell of it. But that's fine, it's still beautiful, it's still lovely. Then you have butterflies flapping around, dragonflies buzzing, and then you also have some bees just going beep, 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 beep. But they're not the annoying ones that are going to sting you, because that would be terrible. That wouldn't feel calm and relaxing at all. They're the nice bees. Anyway, over to the left there, you've got your pergola, and your pergola is where you sit down and you just contemplate life, because you're old now, and that's what you do when you get old. Welcome to beautiful Pergola, where we've got our lovely backyard here, nice picket fence there, we've got a lovely apple tree growing, we've got our pergola over here with our beehive, with our birdhouse up the top here, we've got a beautiful streaming pond on the right there. The purpose of Pergola is to score points by putting out different types of flowers and different types of insects to maximize your points. On your turn, you're going to choose one of the 4 tools that are up there. Now, each of these tools will give you 2 different items. This one will give me 1 blue buttercup and also 1 blue lantern. Once I've done that, I also get the action that's down the bottom there, and this action is the frog action, which allows me to jump my frog to different lily pads to be able to get insects. So let's say I might want to jump over here and grab a bee. I'm going to then put a bee out anywhere I want to put it in the lavender bush, or I can put it in the buttercup, and let's say I'm going to put it and fill up the pink buttercup. I now have 4 bees, which lets me turn over a honey pot, and maybe I want to turn over this honey pot, which is going to score me at the end of the game 1 point for every butterfly that I have in my garden. You see how they're all interconnected. The other option we could have had was to go down the droplet, which is the same sort of thing. You go down the stream and then I would have got another bee, or I could have got a bird here, and I could have also grabbed a leaf here from the bird. It's just like a bird fluttering across and dropping a leaf into my garden, which also would have got me a bee. So you can see there's 3 different options, and all of them could have got me a bee. And then the final option here is to be able to move my insects around. And the reason I want to do that is because all of the insects are going to score depending on how they are in your garden. So let's go over endgame scoring. Your buttercups, you want groups of blue and pink buttercups to get points. Plus also your bees want to fill up your buttercups, and your bees want to fill up your lavender for points. For your hollyhocks here, you want groups of 3 different color hollyhocks to get maximum points there. For your butterflies, you just want your butterflies to be as high as possible. So the higher the hollyhock, the higher the butterfly, the maximum the points. For your magnolias, you want to grow your magnolias out long and wide, because what you're going to do is you're going to score for the magnolias, but you're also going to score for the ladybugs, and you want ladybugs in 1 row there to maximize your points. Over here, we've got lavender bushes. So we've got lavender reeds here, lavender leaves, and we've also got a dragonfly, which is another way to score. When you fill out your 2 lavender leaves, you get a choice to put out a dragonfly for 1 point, or put out a lavender bush to try and fill up with 3 bees to get an 8 points there. And then finally, down the bottom here, we've got some endgame scoring bonuses if you can get all the way down the pond. And finally, we also have the large dragonflies here. If you get 4 of one type of flower, you can then jump onto that flower to grab that dragonfly. The bigger the dragonfly, the more the points. And that's pretty much how you play Pergola. You're going to play up to 15 turns. Once you're finished with your tool, you're going to put it in here, fill it up 15 spots. The game goes nice and quick. Now, before you watch this video any further, you need to first know is this game going to be for you? And look, it's hard to know without knowing all the pros and cons and things like that, but I can pretty much summarize this in 2 different ways of thinking. Firstly, are you comfortable with a cozy, relaxing, gateway light game? Because that's what this game is. It's set collection at its heart, and it's pretty simple going, very stress-free, calming environment. And if you're comfortable with that, excellent. Let's move on to the next question. Are you comfortable with a multiplayer solitaire experience? That's a game where it's got very little to no player interaction. Now, you could be sitting here and you got Billy over there, you got Bob over there. You're all just playing your own game, and it doesn't really matter what Bob does or what Billy does. Your game doesn't really get affected. That's the honest truth. If you're comfortable with that, then great. Invite Billy and Bob around, play some Pergola, and look, life's grand. So I've fast realised it doesn't really matter what I do, I'm going to annoy a certain portion of the world right now. I can say Pergola, how we say in Australia, or I can say Pergola, how we say in British. America, I assume, says Pergola as well. I don't know. But it's stupid having two different pronunciations for the same word. Like, I'm just going to look like a dingbat to a certain portion of the world, and to the other portion of the world, I just sound like a dingbat anyway. So I really can't win. So is Pergola a well-kept oasis, or is it a big pile of weeds? Let's chat about those pros and cons. And firstly, the initial pro is the production value is so through the roof in this game. Now, the fact is, I don't think I've seen a retail game as pretty as this. Every single token, every single piece, just you want to touch it, you want to play with it, you want to create your backyard, and that's very special. Have a look at the game trays that comes with it. Now, you got a lot of little pieces here, but even the middle part of this game tray is part of the game. That pond is part of the game. All these nice touches, the production value and the aesthetics when you look at this game, amazing. Now, the theme, the immersion in the theme is it also is outstanding. Like, I feel like I'm creating and stretching out my backyard. I'm putting flowers in there. I'm getting butterflies coming in. I've got bees going and making me honey. I've got all of these great things. The theme is wonderful. Now, at its heart, it's just a very simple set collection, point salad style game, but because you get to play and create and have your own backyard, be your own backyard, that's cool. That's very cool. So I love that. And I guess the follow on, the last point I'm going to say is how gateway friendly is this game? Like, it's incredible. If someone, had never played a more modern board game in their life and they walked past and they saw this on the table and they saw you fiddling around, putting your magnolias out and your buttercups and all those little buzzy bees, they're going to stop and they're going to play it. And that's the sort of introduction, the gateway style game that you want in your collection, because you're going to convert so many people to board gaming through a game like this. So everything's beautiful, everything's stunning, and everyone will love this game. Well, things may be not as rosy as what it seems on the surface. The biggest issue I find with this game is its lack of decision space. So on your turn, you're going to pick one of these tools, and these tools are going to give you 2 items, and that's great. But the problem is, it doesn't matter which tool you pick up, everything's a winner. Everyone's a winner when they pick a tool. That should be the new motto of this game. Because everything you put in your backyard is going to be point salad. It's going to score you points in some shape or form, and it doesn't really matter. Sure, you might have a preferred preference of what might come out, but at the end of the day, it's not that big a deal. You'll find another way to maximize different points, and again, you just feel good about yourself. Okay, what about these action spaces down the bottom here? Well, there's the frog. Well, when you go and do the frog action, what are you collecting? The ladybugs, the butterflies, and the bees. Great. Okay, what about the water droplet action? Oh, that's right, I'm collecting the butterflies, the bees, and the ladybugs. Okay, what about the bird dropping the leaf action? Oh, that's right, I'm going to get ladybugs, butterflies, bees. Okay, finally, the last one. Well, you actually get to move stuff around, which is kind of cool. But for the most part, these 3 are doing the exact same thing. And the fact is, every round, if someone takes one of these tools, well, they just get refreshed and shifted down, and you've always got maximum choice. Again, it's almost like a very just calming way of just playing a game. And if that's okay for you, awesome. But that decision space, or that lack of decision space, may just upset a few people out there. And then lastly, I guess the other con I want to talk about is its repetitiveness. It doesn't feel like the replayability is fully there. Sure, I'll happily play this multiple times, but at some stage, I realize I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. Yeah, I'm getting those hollyhocks out, I'm getting those magnolias out, I'm getting the lavender out, I'm getting all those things out. And yeah, I might be doing it a little bit different. I might be prioritizing one over the other. But after a while, it's just going to be not enough strategy to keep me coming back. But that also doesn't really matter. This is what it is. This is a lightweight gateway game. And for what that is, it's bloody brilliant at it. First got to play this game at PlayCon, which is a board game barbecue convention held in Sydney. And I was actually lucky. Meeple University were there, and Tarrant got to teach me this game. And for that I'm forever thankful because I didn't have to learn it myself, which is a hell of a good win. So thank you, Tarrant, for doing that. But what did we have? What were those vibes from that initial experience? Yeah, I really, really had fun. I loved it. I loved the look of it. I loved the feel of it. I loved making my backyard. Yeah, I realized pretty fast that, yeah, there's not that much decision space, and there was a few areas that I would have done differently. Like, for example, when you take one of the tools just get refreshed again, and everyone has multiple maximum choice, max chicken's choice every time. Do you know what I would have done? Is if it's a two-player game, I would just take away the tool, and then the next person only gets 3 action spots and 3 tools to choose from. What if it was a 3-player game? Awesome. You'll get it. Take away another tool. The third player then only gets 2 tools and 2 action spots, and obviously 4-player last person, you get what's left over. Now, obviously that would need the first player to keep rotating around, which is fine. So everyone gets an equal amount of turns, and I don't know how it would work with, because you only get 15 turns per game, but I'm sure the designers will be able to work something out there. But do you know what would be really cool with that is that actually creates a bit of player interaction. It might mean I'm looking at old mate's board over there and I'm like, hey, old mate, I can see you need some bees. Well, looks like you might need the water droplet to get a bee there, or whatever it is. You might have that player interaction. Still will be quite minimal, but it might just be enough. So that's the way I would play this game. I would design this game if I was designing it from scratch. Because overall, I never really felt stressed when I was playing. I didn't really care which action spot I got. I didn't really care about what tool I got. I was just having fun, and I was smiling from here to here. And, I was looking over at Stella and I was like, this is bloody amazing. I want to keep playing this. So that's the initial feeling when you're playing it. It is beautiful. It's easygoing. And I fast realized that for the right audience, how magical is this? Now, would I play this over and over again? No. But do I want to keep it in my collection? Yeah. Then I came home, I got to play it again. I got to play with my partner, played it multiple times, and each time I had fun. I never really felt like I hated the game. I never felt like I didn't want to play the game. So overall, I really liked it. I wish there was just a few little tweaks, and maybe I'm just going to play it that way to add a little bit more competition. I don't know. But for now, yeah, look, Pergola's staying in my collection, and really happy I've got it, and really happy I get to show this off, and hopefully this might be a game for you. Anyway, that's all I've got. Look, I'm Hogs. This is the Bangers Project. Till next time, laters.